I woke up gasping for air, staring wildly at the ceiling of my old apartment. My chest burned as if it were still crushed against the steering wheel. I scrambled out of bed and rushed to the mirror. No blood, no scars. I looked at the calendar on my wall and my heart pounded violently against my ribs. October 12th. I was back. Just yesterday, I died in a fiery car crash while rushing to secure a desperate loan to save Julian's failing company. It was exactly 1 year before my death, the exact day Julian secretly gave Mia, his hidden lover, my hard-earned company funds. "I am back," I whispered, gripping the edges of my dresser. The pain in my chest was fresh, but my tears quickly dried. I promised myself I would never be a blind fool again. The front door clicked open. Julian walked in, loosening his silk tie, wearing that perfect fake smile. My stomach turned instantly at the sight of him. "Morning, beautiful," he said, stepping closer. "You look a little pale. Are you feeling all right?" "I am perfectly fine," I replied, stepping back to dodge his kiss. "Just a small headache." "Good, because I need to ask you a huge favor." He sat on the edge of our bed, running a hand through his hair. "The company is hitting a minor rough patch. Nothing I cannot handle, but the bank needs a co-signer for a bridge loan." "A bridge loan?" I asked, keeping my voice entirely flat. "How much, Julian?" "Just $3 million. It is a standard formality. They just want to see a stable secondary income on the paperwork. $3 million is not a standard formality." "Come on," he chuckled, though his eyes were completely tense. "You know my father is breathing down my neck. If Mr. Vance finds out my quarterly numbers are slipping, he will cut me out of the family trust entirely. I just need your signature on the guarantee." I looked him right in the eye, smiled softly, and said, "No." Julian froze. He stared at me as if I had spoken in a foreign language. "Excuse me? What did you just say?" I said no. "I am not co-signing a dangerous bank loan for you." His perfect face twisted in pure shock. "Are you joking? I am your fiancé. We are building our future together. You always support my business ventures." "Not this time," I said. "The risk is simply too high." "There is no risk," Julian yelled, standing up quickly. "I know exactly what I am doing. Why are you suddenly acting like this? Are you trying to ruin me? If your company is so stable, you do not need my signature," I said simply. "Figure it out yourself." "You are being ridiculous," he hissed, his face turning red. "I will give you until tonight to stop acting like a spoiled child." He slammed the bedroom door and stormed out of the apartment. As soon as he left, I grabbed my large suitcase. I packed my clothes and essential documents, then pulled out my phone and dialed my loyal lawyer, Mr. Hayes. "Mr. Hayes?" I asked when he picked up. "Yes, it is quite early. Is everything all right? I need you to freeze all my personal assets immediately. Draft withdrawal papers for my entire investment portfolio in Julian's company. I want every penny out. Pulling your investments? That will trigger a massive liquidity crisis for him," Mr. Hayes warned. "That is exactly the point. Have the papers ready in an hour." "Understood. I will begin immediately." Next, I called my fiercely protective best friend, Sarah. "Hey," I said. "Can I come stay with you?" "Of course," Sarah replied instantly. "What happened? You sound completely different." "I am leaving Julian. I refused his loan and I am pulling my investments." "Finally. I always told you he was a parasite. Get over here right now. I am making coffee." "I am on my way." I zipped up my suitcase, took one last look at the life I had built around a liar, and walked out. It was time to let Julian burn his own future. Over the next few months, I quietly pulled every single one of my investments out of Julian's business. He arrogantly thought I was just throwing a childish tantrum. "Let her pout," Julian had publicly told a mutual friend. "She will come crawling back when she realizes she needs me." I watched from the shadows as he poured everything he had into Mia's fake charity project, completely blinded by her sweet lies. Meanwhile, I started working with Elias. He was a cold but fair rival, CEO who actually valued my sharp mind and business skills. "Your financial projections were flawless," Elias said one afternoon, handing me a file across his massive oak desk. "Julian Vance was an absolute fool to ignore your talent." "Julian only sees what directly benefits him," I replied. "But thank you, Elias. Are you ready for the city gala tonight?" "He will be there." "I am counting on it," Elias smiled, a sharp, calculating look in his eyes. During the major city gala, the ballroom sparkled with grand crystal chandeliers. Julian proudly showed off Mia to the elites, holding her waist tightly, thinking he had won the ultimate prize. "Look at them," Elias murmured, handing me a crystal glass of champagne. "He looks remarkably smug for a man teetering on the edge of total bankruptcy." "He does not know the floor is missing yet," I said softly. The ugly truth came out an hour later. Toby, Julian's abused and overworked assistant, burst through the ballroom doors. He looked absolutely terrified, his suit rumpled and his face pale. "Mr. Vance," Toby shouted, running straight past Julian to Julian's strict and terrifying father, the elder Mr. Vance. "Sir, I am so sorry. I tried to stop the transfers." "Stop shouting, boy," Mr. Vance snapped, his commanding voice cutting through the soft music. "What transfers?" "The corporate accounts," Toby cried, holding up a stack of printed bank statements. "They are completely frozen. Mr. Julian authorized a massive transfer to a private charity, but the charity is an empty shell company. We are utterly ruined." The music stopped abruptly. The entire ballroom went dead silent. Mr. Vance slowly turned to Julian, his eyes blazing with fury. "What did you do?" "Father, wait," Julian stammered, his face draining of all color. "It is a secure investment. Mia promised me it would triple our returns within the month." Mia quickly stepped away from Julian, holding her hands up defensively. "I have no idea what he is talking about. I was just a consultant. I never promised him anything." "Mia?" Julian choked out, his voice cracking. "What are you doing? Tell him the truth." I stood across the glittering room, calmly sipping my drink. Julian locked eyes with me. He finally realized his bank accounts were officially frozen. Pure panic set in. He shoved past the whispering crowd and ran straight toward me. "Please," he begged, his voice high and desperate. "You have to help me. Transfer the rescue funds like you used to. Save the company." I simply stepped back. Elias smoothly stepped in front of me, shielding me from Julian's grasping hands. "Stay back, Vance," Elias warned coldly. "Please, I am begging you," Julian cried, looking past Elias at me. "I made a terrible mistake. You cannot let my father destroy me." "You made your bed, Julian," I said, my voice echoing clearly in the quiet room. "Now lie in it." Seeing his desperate, panicked eyes was exactly what my soul needed to heal. The fallout was brutal, and I loved every single second of it. Mia showed her true greedy colors the very moment Julian went completely bankrupt. She cruelly dumped him for Leo, her secret ex-boyfriend who she actually owed money to, leaving Julian completely alone with millions in crushing debt. "I need a man with an actual future, Julian," Mia was caught saying by the tabloids. "Not a beggar dragging chains." One rainy afternoon, my receptionist buzzed my office phone. "There is a Julian Vance here to see you," she said nervously over the speaker. "He is refusing to leave the lobby." "Send him in," I replied calmly. The heavy glass doors opened. Julian stumbled in, soaking wet and shivering from the rain. He looked absolutely pathetic, nothing like the arrogant air I used to know. He fell to his knees right in front of my desk, instantly bursting into tears. "Please give me a second chance," he begged, staring up at me with hollow red eyes. "Get up, Julian. You are ruining my new carpet. I was so wrong," he cried loudly, crawling closer. "I was manipulated. Mia tricked me into signing those papers. You were the only one who ever truly cared about me. You are my only true love. Please, let's just start over." I looked down at the pathetic man crying on my floor. I laughed. The sound was so cold and empty it surprised even me. "Your true love?" I asked, leaning forward. "You secretly stole my money. You plan to leave me drowning in your massive debts. If I had not walked away, I would be exactly where you are right now. I can change. I promise I will make it up to you." I opened my top desk drawer and pulled out a single shiny coin. I tossed it onto the floor. It clinked sharply against the tiles and rolled directly to his knees. "What is this?" he whispered, his voice trembling. "That is exactly what you are worth to me now," I said firmly. "Take it and get out." "You cannot do this to me," he screamed, his sorrow turning to sudden helpless rage. "Security," I called out. 2 large guards immediately entered and dragged a screaming, sobbing Julian out of my office. Just as the doors closed, Elias walked in alongside Mrs. Gable, a stern board member who highly respected my new authority. "Is the trash finally taken out?" Mrs. Gable asked, sharply adjusting her glasses. "Yes, Mrs. Gable," I smiled. "We can finally proceed." "Excellent," Elias said, opening a heavy legal folder on my desk. "With the powerful help of the board, we have completely bought out Julian's ruined company for literal pennies on the dollar. He has 0 remaining assets, Mrs. Gable added, tapping the paperwork. The entire Vance legacy belongs to you now. Where do I sign? I asked. Elias handed me his gold pen. Right here. I signed my name with sharp, precise strokes. The long nightmare was officially over. I stood up, shook hands with Mrs. Gable, and thanked Elias for his unwavering partnership. As I walked out of the glass building into the bright sunlight, I took a deep, shaky breath. The rain had cleared, leaving the city looking fresh and beautiful. I was no longer the tragic, blind girl who died for a selfish liar. I was finally free, and my real life had just begun.